And welcome back, and it's the Corbett Higher Plus 5 a day for the 11th of April. If you were here yesterday was quite challenging, especially that last question. So I'm hoping for not an easy day today, but a bit more of a straightforward day today. Let's just go to the first one. Right, what do we have? So Charlotte invests £5,000. The bank pays 10% interest, and then Y after that. After 3 years, okay. There's a compound interest question where you have to reverse the interest. So I know she puts in 5,000. After the first year, the multiplier is 1.1 because it's 10%, which is a 1.1 multiplier. In other words, 100% plus 10% is 1.1. Then she's going to multiply by a multiplier that I don't know. So I'm going to use M to represent the percentage as a multiplier and then work out what that M is later. I'll show you when I go through. And then she does that for every year after that. Well, if she does it for 3 years and the first year is done, it's going to be M squared, i.e. there's 2 more years at this different rate. And I know that's equal to 5610.55. Now, that allows me then to say that M squared is equal to 5610.55 divided by 5,000 times 1.1. And that's going to give me, and be very careful to get it right in the calculator. So the calculator tells me that's 1.0201. But that's M squared. So therefore M is going to be the square root of that, which is thankfully a very nice number of 1.01. Now remember, that's a multiplier, which means that is the equivalent to a 1% increase. What does the question want? Charlotte has calculate Y. Y is the percentage increase that she gets, or the compound interest, so my answer is 1%. Good, well-worded question. I like that question. Next question. The distance between the points this and this is 15. Calculate the possible values. Now, clue in the question, that means there's 2 values, which, by the way, suggests to me we're probably going to have a quadratic. So let's have a go. So I know the difference between the x values is q minus 3, and I'm going to square that. And I know the difference between the y values is 5 minus 4, and I'm going to square that. And then I know the square root of that is equal to 15. Well, how do I know that? Because what I did is I thought about the triangle, which creates Pythagoras, which tells me the length. So this here is the length, this is the change in the x values, and this is the change in the y values. Let's tidy this up a bit. So the first bit is q plus 3 squared. The second bit is 5 minus 4, which is 5 plus 4, which is 9. 9 squared is 81. And that equals, now, instead of square rooting, I'm going to square both sides. So 15 squared is 225. And as I say, I'm going to get a quadratic now. So let's try and tidy this up a bit. So it's going to be q squared plus 6q plus 9. Actually, let's write it down. Plus 9 plus 81 minus 225. And that equals 0, which is the same as q squared plus 6q. Calculator out if you've got one. If not, you just have to work it out in a non-calculator. So 9 plus 81 minus 225, that is minus 135, which is good because that's a nice number to play with. Now, this may be not at the top of your multiplication knowledge, but you do get kind of used to these numbers. I know 135 divides by 45. I know it divides by 15. And moreover, I know it's 9 times 15. So a little bit of luck on my behalf. I know I can say this is the same as q minus 9, q plus 15. And again, 9 times 15 is 135, 15 minus 9 is 6. So that a bit of experience there. If you can't see it straight away, quadratic formula, or you can complete the square. Either of those will work. Either way, that equals 0, which means that it must therefore be the case that q is equal to 9 or q is equal to minus 15. And that is my final answer. Question done. Good, not unreasonable, quite difficult, but okay question. Next question. Using completing the square to find the equation of the line of symmetry. Okay, so all it wants is the line of symmetry. It doesn't want the turning point of the vertex. It just wants to know what the point, the x value of the turning point is. So the easiest way of doing this is just complete the square, as it says in the question, which is going to give me x squared plus 4x minus 16 plus 5. But I don't care about that bit. All I care about is minus 4 makes that bracket equal to 0. So therefore, it must be the case that my answer is x equals minus 4. And a quick sketch to show you what I mean. So if I draw a sketch, the vertex is here, and that vertex goes through minus 4, which is the mirror line, and therefore the line of symmetry. Good question. Next question. Right, what do we have? So the minute hand of a clock is 8 centimeters long. The hour hand is 1.5 centimeters shorter. Okay. Calculate the distance between the tips. Oh, right. Okay, good question. Okay, so let's attempt a diagram. So my hour hand is on 8 o'clock and my minute hand must be at 12 because it's exactly on 0, 0. So my minute hand is 8 centimeters and my hour hand is 1.5 shorter, which is 6.5 centimeters. And I need to work out this length here. Now, of course, the clever bit about this question is 8 o'clock is 8/12 of the way round the clock, which is 8/12 of 360 around. So 8/12 of 360 is equal to 240, which means that this angle here is going to be 360 minus 240, which is going to be 120 degrees. So it's just a cosine rule question. I've got the two sides, I've got the angle in between, and I need to work out this side. So let's write it out all in one go. So the side that I want is going to be 6.5 squared plus 8 squared minus 2 times 8 times 6.5 cos of the angle in between, which is 120. Calculator out. Now, as I often say, I'm sure you are doing the questions. Even if you're just watching along for fun, put this in your calculator and make sure it's okay. A lot of marks are lost just for poor calculator usage. So put it in your calculator. I'm doing it right now as I speak, which is always dangerous, but that's fine. Times cos of 120. And I get, well, it says root 633 over 2. I get 12.57974, etc., which I'm going to call 12.6 centimeters. Yeah, 12.6 centimeters to 3 sig fig. As I say, calculator usage is where a lot of marks are lost, so make sure you practice that as well. Next and final question. Find the exact values of W. Oh, this is a clever question, isn't it? Okay, first of all, I'm going to make everything to a 3. So that's going to be 3W squared, unchanged. 3 squared times 3 cubed, 27 is 3 cubed, W plus 5. Now let's sort out the thing on the left-hand side is fine. Let's sort out the thing on the right-hand side. So it's going to be 3. When you multiply powers, you add them. So it's 2 plus 3W plus 3 times 5 is 15. Now, because both base values are equal, I can just say, therefore, W squared equals 2 plus 15 is 17 plus 3W, which is going to give me a quadratic. So W squared minus 3W minus 17 equals 0. Now, temptation is to try and factorise, but I can't factorise it because the factors of 17 are 1 and 17 only, and that's not going to give me 3. So I'm going to go straight to the quadratic formula. So that means W is equal to, well, there's my B, there's my A, and there's my C. So W equals 3 minus minus 3 plus minus the square root of 3 squared minus 4 times minus 17, so that makes that a plus, so 4 times 17, all divided by, what am I dividing by? 2 times 1, which is 2. Let's tidy it up. So that's going to be 3 plus minus over 2. Calculator out. So root 9 plus 4 times 17 is root 77, so that's going to be 3 plus root 77. And well, it could be both answers, can't it? Because it even says in the question values, so there's my clue. So therefore my answers are, and it says exact values, so 3 plus root 77 over 2, or 3 minus root 77 over 2. Wow, this month really has got a lot harder, hasn't it? I mean, not impossible questions, not too difficult. Again, the key word is there, not too difficult, but they are definitely quite tricky. Do let me know how you did with those. Like and subscribe. I'm sure they'll be just as tough tomorrow, and I'll see you for the next one. Thanks.